wanted to show people a way to change their lives, to make, huge leaps. When you've taught your subconscious things like, anxiety or negative emotions, limiting beliefs, things like that, we're going to help you break through the subconscious blocks keeping you stuck, claim control of all that subconscious programming, your beliefs, your identity, and again, almost all your behaviors. Okay. Your reaction when you bump up against the edge of your comfort zone will determine your destiny.
Like, I always find myself back at that set point,
Yes.
So
yes.
This is not where I want to be.
The brain is the most sophisticated computer ever invented. The only thing it cares about is keeping you alive for the next 2 seconds and passing on your genes. If you, in your mind's eye, look at your body, and if that feeling had a color, what color would it be? If it were moving, what direction would it be turning in? If it's hard to tell, try turning it one way then the other. You now have a really powerful NLP tool. Anytime you're afraid of something, you just go and spin that fear.
This week on the Beyond Numerology podcast, I'm sitting down with Matt Johnson, a hypnotherapist, subconscious transformation coach, and self-described NLP nerd, and I mean that in the best possible way. Matt came to this work not from a textbook, but because he needed it himself. After a brain injury and a PTSD diagnosis that traditional therapy couldn't crack, he dove deep into NLP and hypnosis and built his own path to healing, and now he helps others do the same. In this conversation, we get into how the subconscious mind runs the show, why so many of us are stuck in programs we didn't consciously choose, and what it actually looks like to go in and rewrite them. We also get a little personal. I share something from my own grief journey that connects to this work in a way I didn't expect, and Matt's response is one you won't want to miss. This one is grounded, practical, and the kind of conversation that makes you look at your own patterns and think, what if I don't have to keep doing it this way? So without making you wait any longer, let's get into it. Welcome to Beyond Numerology. I'm Tammy Lopresti, the creator of Cosmic Ascended Numerology, a rare and super accurate way of decoding who you are and why you're here. If you're new around here, I'm so glad you found us. And if you've been in my world for a while, then you already know that I don't do numerology like everyone else. Think of this podcast as your weekly spiritual hangout. A place where we dive into your soul's plan, uncover what you came here to learn, understand, and experience, and help you wake back up to the you that you came here to be. Every Friday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we record new episodes on Zoom and invite a live audience to hang out with us. This is your chance to be in the room while we chat with our guest of the week, do mini numerology readings, and enjoy occasional psychic insights from our guests, whether it's card pulls, spirit guide messages, messages from loved ones on the other side, or other surprises that they might bring. Want the VIP experience? Stick around for the after show where you can hang out with me and the guest of the week to answer your own questions and get a behind-the-scenes look at the magic happening live. It's always fresh, always different, and always a good time. So whether you're tuning in live or catching the replay, welcome. I'm so happy you're here, and I have a feeling you're going to love it. Now let's go beyond numerology, because your soul's plan starts right now.
Hi everyone. We are here with Matt Johnson, and he's amazing. He does NLP, and I am fascinated by NLP. I tell you every time. I just want to absorb it. I want to absorb all of the mind programming that I can, the deprogramming. Sorry, the deprogramming and then the reprogramming. That's my favorite thing in the whole world. So,
it's going to be fun.
So, yeah. 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 So I don't know if you have, I forgot to tell you to turn your chat on. So can you see the comments on the side?
Yeah, I see them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So tell us who you are, what you do, why you do it, all the things,
Yeah. Hi, I'm Matt Johnson. I am a hypnotherapist and NLP nerd. I am quadruple certified. I am a subconscious transformation coach. If you make it to your 30th birthday, your subconscious controls about 95% of all your behaviors. And if you've ever had the experience of driving, you've had that first time where it had your full attention. Your hands were 10 and 2, and you're hyper vigilant about not hitting anything, right? Fast forward a few years, and you've got coffee in one hand, cell phone in the other, and you can still maneuver that vehicle. I'm kidding, please don't do that, but it shows the process. We teach our subconscious how to do things, and it can take over those behaviors. Awesome thing for driving, but problems can happen when we teach it, negative emotions, limiting beliefs, traumatic events, anything like that. Then things can kind of get stuck in there. And that's where hypnosis and NLP really shine, and going in and rewriting those programs. So it's, so you can make them into what you want them to be. So, make a small change on the way down deep. And we do this with just simple visualizations. And the ripple effect on the surface is enormous to where it seems like miracles. In reality, there are no miracles. It's just we're just changing you at very deep levels, so you really become a new person through the process.
Yeah, I have a coach that did this program where it was just a little meditation thing, and it was about money blocks, but I didn't use it for that. That's why I bought it, but I ended up using it for something different because I was grieving at the time. And I had this like moment that kept replaying in my head after my ex died. And I just it wouldn't stop. It was like, I kept going, this is where it went wrong. This is where I had a choice. Cause I kept going, where did we go off our track? And it was like this moment that I feel like was even created in my head. I don't even think the moment happened exactly like that, but in my head it did. It was like a movie that kept playing. I kept seeing him drive away, and I knew that was the last time I made a decision that made him leave my life, And it was like we were never the same. And so it kept playing in my head, and I would fall down crying because I could not handle it. And then she had this program that was literally just a meditation. And she said, it was like NLP. I don't think it was NLP, but it was very similar. I think it was anyway. And she did this thing where she was like, she told you some things, and she said, I want you to imagine this moment. And this is the moment I imagined because I couldn't stop seeing it. And she said, I want you to realize, you could have never done anything different. And she said like all these different things. And I literally came out of that meditation, and I never, ever felt emotion around that again. Yeah. Like I can play that moment over and over, and I can still see it, everything. I can still have feelings about it, but I don't have regret anymore. And I don't have that fall down, holy shit, I messed up my whole life feeling. I have like acceptance around it somehow. And it's like it happened in an instant. Is that what NLP does?
Yeah, absolutely. I got into this originally because I was diagnosed with PTSD. I had a brain injury that I just could not heal. And, years into it, I got to where I knew more than my 4 neurologists did about brain injuries, but awesome. I couldn't shake it. And I finally wound up getting a special kind of brain scan, maps the electrical activity in the brain. And, long story short, my brain was okay, but areas that were supposed to be dark were lit up like fireworks. And they told me that day for the first time I had PTSD. I'd had it since I was a little guy and never even been aware of it. I knew I had anxiety issues. I'd never given it that label. That's, something soldiers get, it was my thing at the time. But from that day, it's, I was familiar with NLP from Tony Robbins. I was familiar with hypnosis.
Yeah, I guess he does do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But, and so I really dove into both of those, and, just rabbit hole after rabbit hole, by the time I got diagnosed, I'd had 3 different talk therapists. One of them helped. She was a big, stress coach for executives and all that. But in my case, it was like a garden hose against the tide. You know what I mean? It just wasn't going to work. I had another one who was, not much help, to put it nicely. But I had another one who just wanted to drug me, and that just was not my answers. Needed in some cases. It didn't work well for me. So I knew I needed something different. And thank God I, was familiar with those two. I was able to put together a protocol to heal myself. And because of that, I get, people like, soldiers and, child abuse victims, things like that. And that's one of the first things, to bring this point full circle. That's one of the first things I'll do is help them unwind those, traumatic memories and all that. And in NLP, we call it the movie theater exercise, but you're probably too young to remember records, but
I remember, I have records actually. I have a record player right now that I play.
But once you scratch that record, it will never play the same way again, right? And that the same thing goes for memories. We replay those memories, reconfigure them to take all that emotional sting out of them, and it's just so liberating. You know that from your experience, but you'll still have the memory, but it just doesn't affect you anymore.
Yeah. So what led me to buy that program that I talked about? It was only like $40 too. But it was like, I had already bought a lot of her stuff and I wasn't interested, honestly. I got her email, and then I have this thing with my spirit guides where I say, if you show me something 3 times in 3 different ways, I will realize that you are talking to me,
I like that.
Yeah, because that's I'm a big skeptic. So like, I know it doesn't seem like I should be for the work I do, but I'm a huge skeptic. So I require a lot of proof to believe anything from anyone. And I have a lot of trust issues as well. And so anyway, so I saw her program. Okay. Like I saw her email and I read it, and she was talking about neutrality. Okay. And I really never heard that word very much at that point. And I was just like, okay, whatever, who cares? And then I was reading A Course in Miracles Made Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. A Course in Miracles has changed my life like so many times every time I read it. But I started reading the Made Easy one because it's so much easier.
That's a big book. Yeah.
It's a Bible, and I think they say that it was channeled from Jesus or something, but it's really a big, complicated book. The Made Easy one is actually pretty easy to read, and I like it. Anyway, in that book, I'm like reading it, and they say something about neutrality. And the only reason I heard that, like I was reading it on Kindle, the only reason I noticed it or recognized it is because I had just heard it from that email. And I was like, oh, that's a weird word. Like it just kind of stuck out. And then I was listening to like a podcast or something in a totally different area. And it was like someone was talking about neutrality. And I'm like, okay,
3 for 3. Yeah, got to do it now.
What is this? Why do I need to know this or understand this? But that was what it was. It was that she created neutrality around what this incident was for me. And it was like, it wasn't like it removed the incident, and it wasn't like it removed any memories of it or any experience or any of that. It just created no emotion around it. Right. And when I removed the emotion from it, it was just an incident, and it didn't really mean much. And so like when I wasn't adding meaning to the thing, it changed every way that I looked at it. And so when I look back on that moment now, it kind of feels beautiful that we had that ending. It doesn't feel terrible and toxic, and it wasn't toxic, but it doesn't drop me to my knees as the last moment I could have had a life with him,
Yeah.
And so is that like what it is when you're working with like PTSD and things like that? Is that what you're trying to do, is remove the emotion from it so that the experience can make more sense or something, or be better?
Yeah, absolutely. What happens is, your brain is the most sophisticated computer ever invented, but it has, 3 main layers. You have your reptile brain, which is, fight or flight. Should I eat it or run from it? You know what I mean?
A lot of that.
The only thing, the only thing it cares about is keeping you alive for the next 2 seconds and passing on your genes. That's it. And above that, you have your mammal brain for that. Think of your dog, your cat, understands love, family, the pack, all that.
Yeah.
Whereas, some reptiles will eat their young. That's the difference between the two brain layers, right?
Yeah.
Above that, you have your neocortex, which is all your higher order logic and all that kind of stuff, the stuff that makes us smart.
Yeah.
What happens is, especially in an extreme emotional experience, your brain will physically drain blood, and it goes into your body, into your limbs, so you can, fight or flight. But your higher neocortex will actually shut down. And guess who's in charge at that point?
Reptile?
Exactly. And if you've ever had the experience of, it could be anything from a war zone to asking a pretty girl out on a date and something stupid coming out of your mouth, people tend to react in ways that are like, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? And you weren't. Your reptile brain was doing the thinking at the time.
Yeah.
So it just wanted to get you through that next 2 seconds. So it made a calculation and went with it.
Yeah.
It's very, very common.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm obsessed with this kind of stuff. Like, I've been rewiring my brain since before I even knew that was a thing, because I had a lot of trauma in my life. So I just kind of always went like, okay, how could this feel better? And I never understood what I was doing. I just knew I didn't want to feel the way I did about whatever it was. And I would like always make stories, my own stories out of what it was. I would go, well, I'm fine, and that, like, at the end of the day, I would always go, I'm fine. This is about them. This isn't about me, and I knew how to do that somehow, probably because I brought it from a past life or something. I don't think I learned that here. But then, like, when I started stumbling across things like you do, I got really fascinated with that because I didn't realize there was a practice around it. I didn't realize that people knew that it worked. And I will say Tony Robbins changed my life. Just
same. Yeah.
First event, how they say like life will never be the same. Like this isn't the rock I wrote it on. I have 2 Tony Robbins rocks from that time.
Oh, cool.
One I wrote, hang on, I think it's up here.
Okay.
No, that's not it either. Anyway, I don't know where it is, but I wrote life will never be the same, or it will never be the same, or something like that. The thing is, like, they're not just saying that. Like, he does something to your brain.
Oh yeah.
He's
doing it all 4 days. Yeah.
It never is the same. And I think part of that is like sleep deprivation.
Tony goes till like 2 a.m. Forgot people who haven't been.
Yeah. Extreme cold. Feeling your fingers, but yeah, I was supposed to go to Anaheim in October. I have tickets. But nice. I'm sending my daughter and her husband instead because I just know it will change their life, but yeah. Anyway, I love this kind of stuff because I think the work that you do is truly changing the world. Like not just like saying we're changing the world, not just like having the intention of like, I want to help, but I don't know how to help. You're actually going into someone's life and you're saying, hey, those things that are really messing you up. Sorry, I almost said bug. Yeah. But those things that are really messing you up, that are making life impossible, we can just shift those. And if we shift those, like, you could like life again, and that's what I like about it. Like, I like things that come in and just shift you,
Yes. So, it is so rewarding to see somebody who's been suffering for, years, decades sometimes, and to liberate them from that. You can see it in their face, they're just lighter, they're more open, you know what I mean? And it's just, NLP and hypnosis, they're really simple. You know what I mean? There's not anything complicated about them. There's no, people get freaked out about hypnosis. They see like, stage hypnotists at the fair or whatever. And that's their introduction. If you look at, what they do in the beginning of the show, they'll bring people up and put them under, and they're looking, they'll play with them, just looking for suggestibility and depth of trance, as the hypnotist would, but they're also being very playful with them, and they're seeing who plays back. They're looking for who wants to entertain the audience. Those people are in total control of what they're doing. I promise. You never lose the ability to accept or reject any suggestion given. We're not doing any kind of like brainwashing. mind program, anything like that.
Yeah.
What we're doing is giving you more control. If you have, a bad habit or an emotion or, fear, anything like that, NLP and hypnosis are really an incredible tool set to go in and reprogram those at, deep subconscious levels. I always use the example of, my dad. 30 years, he smoked a pack a day, and I saw him trying over and over again to quit. He used pills, patches, gums, you name it, failed every single time. And then one day he got hypnotized, and he told me after that he never even craved cigarettes again.
Wow.
Now, how did that one hypnosis work when everything else failed? It's because it dealt with the habit, all the triggers, all that whole set of behaviors where they live, which is in the subconscious.
Yeah.
That's 95% of all your behaviors by the time you hit 30 years old. So approximately, but it's really incredible, really powerful work. Yeah.
When you do your work, you don't have to know everybody's backstory, right? You just go in and you just know what they're going through. Is that what
I usually do? I every once in a while I have somebody who doesn't really want to talk about it. And we can still work with that. I might not identify every trigger or every, you know what I mean? But we can get rid of, the vast majority of it. You know what I mean?
So I guess my real question then is like, how do you get to the bottom of something? Like when somebody smokes cigarettes, they don't know why they smoke cigarettes. So like I used to smoke cigarettes and I couldn't figure out why I did it or why I didn't like it. I didn't think I liked it, and I didn't realize what it was giving to me or anything like that. So if you asked me, I'd be like, I don't know why I do this. I'm stuck. I can't stop,
There's multiple layers to that. First, you have the craving, you know what I mean? That physical craving for it. We use a tool called grossing you out. We make it really disgusting for you to even think about putting a cigarette in your mouth. Then there's triggers to that. There's, hey, I'm with my friends or at a bar or something like that. Now it's time to smoke. You know what I mean? We go in and change those. And there's also part of it is your identity. One of the things I noticed about my dad, I was like 8 years old when this happened, maybe 10, but he went from, somebody told him, or offered him a cigarette. He went from, no, thanks, I'm trying to quit, to no, thanks, I'm not a smoker.
Yes.
Identity shift.
Identity is the big one, I think. You'll never outperform your identity over the long term. You can do it in short bursts, but you will always go back down. You have like a thermostat of subconsciously who you think you are. Who you think you are and who you want to be as well. And who you're trying to be or whatever.
85% of all lottery winners are right back where they started financially within 5 years.
I know.
It's that identity. And,
that freaks me out.
Well, you think about it. I mean, at first you get this big high, you just won the lottery. Of course, you're going to be on top of the world, but you get used to that feeling. And all of a sudden, you have to start spending more and more money to bring that high back. And everyone you've ever known is now asking you for money. And before long, those subconscious beliefs just go to work and it's completely under the radar and they'll take you right back down to where you think you belong.
Yeah. Well, that is what I experience with money. It's like no matter how much money I make, I go right back to where I was struggling again. I'm always okay. Like I'm always right at the edge of being able to be okay, but not being quite not over that line, And like no matter if my finances go way skyrocketed in the stratosphere, it feels like, or not, it's like I always find myself back at that set point, So this is not where I want to be.
Consciously, subconsciously, it's home, right?
Is home. That's what it feels like. Like struggle feels normal to me, and not struggling does not feel normal to me.
And that is so common. What happens is we pick up human beings 0 through about age 7. We're in what's called the imprinting phase. We're taking in huge amounts of data, but we haven't developed what's called our critical faculty, which means we can't judge anything that's coming in. We just accept it all as is, and this is the way things are. And going in and undoing that early programming, I guarantee you that's where it's coming from. Something happens, or you were just around those influences. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right?
I had parents that didn't have a lot of money, and they were just always fighting about it. And so that was the theme of the house, Yeah. But,
and so you internalize that as being, this is where I belong, because it's where you've always been. And so when you get to a point where, you try to step outside that, all of a sudden it's not safe. Am I right?
It is. It's not safe.
Yeah. And so you'll do, limiting behaviors to bring yourself back within that comfort zone. One of the best quotes I ever got was actually from Tony. Your reaction when you bump up against the edge of your comfort zone will determine your destiny. If you take it like, oh no, I'm outside my comfort zone, I got to make myself safe again, you will always stay within that bubble. But if you say, all right, I'm scared, but this means I'm doing something new, I need to march forward, that's when you get beyond it. Yeah.
So do you know what I've practiced my whole life? Probably also because of trauma and things like that. I've always had this thing where I want to be the bravest person. Like, it's like an ego. It's definitely an ego thing. Okay. But it's always like, I was always trying to prove that I'm the bravest person. So if we're in the dark and everybody's scared, I will walk through the dark first, And so if I'm scared of something, I've always forced myself to jump off the building, like I've always said, like, when I was afraid of flying, I flew as much as I possibly could. And I got myself to a point where now I love flying. Now it excites me. But I have exercises around it now to get me there. But nobody knows that I do that unless I tell them. They won't notice. But like every single time I do a flash forward, I close my eyes on the plane before we take off. And I go, can I see anything after this? Anything at all? And if I can glimpse one single thing, anything, I go, okay, we're going to live. It's fine. And then I'm fine, but I couldn't even think about getting on a plane. I always thought that I was going to die on a plane when I was young, and for no reason, just a stupid fear. And then I decided, well, I want to travel. I don't want to be scared to fly, So I just did it until it wasn't scary. And that's what I do with everything. Like, I also did that when I was an Uber driver, and I had been assaulted a few times while I was doing that job. And because that just happens when you're a girl and, you're picking up drunk and high men, in the middle of the night, like, people, assume different things and do different things. Well, whenever I got assaulted, which happened, I would say 3 times that I would admit was actual assault. Definitely more than that if you were looking at a bigger scale that normal people look at. But I've been through a lot of trauma. So 3 times that I felt very, very much in danger. It was like this one time, I was pretty sure the guy in the back seat wanted to kill me. I was positive, actually, because I could feel it. You could feel it in the car. And the things he was saying, I was definitely in danger. Absolutely, I was in danger. And then he didn't want to get out of my car, and it was very, very scary. And I was shook. Like, that night, to my core, I was scared. I cried after the ride. Like, I pulled over and just cried. And then after that, though, I couldn't go home, because if I went home, I knew I would never turn on that app again and go out driving. And I had to, for my life, I had to support my life. That was my job. And so I drove until the world was good again. And that's what I did every time. That was my thing. I would drive until I met somebody that held light and I felt like the world was good again. And that happened, every time I would do that. It was like, then I was like, okay, I'm safe again. And it was like my way of making myself be okay. Now, if I had encountered someone else that assaulted me or something, like, it would have been horrible. But luckily that didn't happen. But it was like, that's what I do. I force myself to get through it, to a point where I'm okay again. And I feel like, that kind of like equaled it out somehow. And made it like
you took the brute force approach. Pushing through your fears. Yes.
I don't think that's the best way to do things.
It's definitely not the easiest.
I don't think it's the best way to do things. But I do think it has really been like a lifesaver in my life. Like it has been the thing that gets me through every single other thing, because I push myself outside of my comfort zone, and I teach myself that comfort isn't acceptable. Like even though I love to be comfortable, like I have a blanket.
Oh, we all do. Yeah.
Desk, I sit with a blanket late at night working a lot of times just to be comfortable, at my desk. But like at the same time, it's like if I get too comfortable, I know my life's not going to work, So I constantly go, what is it that I can't handle? And that's what I do.
That is amazing. You were very brave. I admire you. Yeah.
It's ego though. It's not,
it's a standard you have for yourself.
It's because
it's a standard that you have, right?
Yeah.
You won't allow yourself to be shrunken by trauma or by, somebody else. Yeah. That's nothing to be, embarrassed about.
I mean, I'm not embarrassed about it. I just think it's a little bit toxic, honestly, because it's something I do to myself that's a little bit torturous.
Okay. But I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative would be you shutting the app off and going home and never doing it again, right?
Exactly.
Which is more toxic, you know what I mean?
And that's what I've learned. Yeah. And so I don't know where that comes from, like what makes me that way, but that is what I try to teach to other people. I'm maybe not on the extreme level that I do it, but like if you're afraid of something, that is the very first thing that you should be doing. Like I meet a lot of people that can't come on and do a video. Like they can't come on live. There's people I can't interview because they can't handle this.
Oh wow. And I can help with that, by the way.
Yeah. So if you guys have trouble with that, go to Matt, because all my students have to come on before they graduate. So like they do some of them. But yeah, I meet a lot of people that can't do that. And I remember when I couldn't. I remember when it was so scary for me that I would go to hit record and I would record like five different times before I just gave up. And I was like, I couldn't handle it. When I started doing lives, actually, it helped me, because a live, you can't change it. So like if you cough or burp or whatever,
or worse.
You say the wrong thing, your dog barks, whatever, you can't change it. And when I can't change it, I won't, I guess. I just keep
drop the rule that you had to be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So but yeah, like this kind of thing is what I encourage people to do. Like if you're scared of it, do that first, because then you do it so many times, it just feels comfortable. Like I do these shows now and I just go, I just have another show. It's like no big deal. I don't think about it. I get nervous sometimes depending on who's in the seat with me, maybe. I haven't had that happen, but I could imagine that could happen, but I always think like it's no big deal. And like when I tell my students that sometimes we get over 1,000 views, they're like, like, but
2,000 eyeballs. Oh no.
Kind of like, I'm like, that's not even the numbers I want to get to, but but the thing is, like, I don't think about that at all. I just feel like me and you are having a conversation and other people are getting to listen and be part of it. And I think that's helping the world. Like you telling people what you do and being able to showcase something that people might not even know exists that could actually save their lives. Like that's why all of this makes sense to me, no matter if it's comfortable or not,
And all I do is I show people how to take control of that. My very first Facebook Live, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I did it on the topic of, in NLP, we have a very cool exercise called unspinning fear. And
I like that.
We can do it right here if you want. But
yeah, let's do something cool.
I'll guess why this was my first Facebook Live. Okay. Yeah. I was sitting there spinning it the whole time. And I remember I had technical issues. Like I was doing Zoom to Facebook and my audio was working for me, but nobody could hear me on Facebook. So I had to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
By that time I was having fun with it.
Yeah.
And it had taken maybe 10 minutes the first go around and I was already, fine. Yeah. Unspinning fear is a very cool thing. All right. If you think about, and everyone can follow along, think about something that makes you nervous. It could be a conversation you don't want to have, or, maybe a person who intimidates you, overdue bill, something like that. Maybe it's those 2,000 eyeballs.
Yeah. And
in your mind's eye, look at your body. And if that feeling had a color, what color would it be? First impression.
Okay. Do you want me to answer, or do you?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Everybody answer in your own head, but
let me pick
work with Tammy here.
That scares me a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say the color's blue.
Okay, good. Is there more than one color?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that blue fear feeling, if it had a shape, what shape would it be?
It's like I don't know, like an oval. It's an oval.
Yeah, and that's going to be different for everybody. And the important thing is just take whatever pops up for you, very first reaction, and just run with it. That's from your subconscious. But all right, so this blue oval, or whatever it is for you guys, if it were moving, what direction would it be turning in? If it's hard to tell, try turning it
to the left.
All right. If it's hard to tell, try turning it one way, then the other. Now, whatever way that it's spinning for you, I want you to try turning it the opposite way. Notice, what does that do to the feeling?
I'm having a hard time doing that.
Okay. You can just play with it a little bit. You can try spinning it different ways.
It's like I can flatten it, but I can't make it go right.
Okay.
But I can flatten it. I can push it. But
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Try doing the opposite of that.
Okay.
Flattening it. Maybe you blow it up.
I can do that.
Everybody's different. I've done this exercise with hundreds and hundreds of people. Everybody's different.
I can do that. I made it bigger. I can do that.
Okay. So making it bigger or spinning it the opposite direction, find the direction that works best for you, whatever feels most peaceful, while you drain all that color right out of it. Just make it totally transparent there.
Okay.
All right. And then fill it back up with whatever color you like. Some people like gold or pink.
I decided on pink.
Okay, good. Fill it back up, still spinning it. Now try adding sparkle to it and watch it start to swirl throughout like a candy cane or one of those poles in front of a barber shop.
Okay.
Yeah. Feel a difference?
Yeah, it doesn't feel as scary.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't feel like it's looming. It was feeling like it was looming in the beginning. So, yeah.
You now have a really powerful NLP tool. Anytime you're afraid of something, you just go in, unspin that fear, drain the color, fill it back up, add sparkle. Done. And you can get through some really, scary stuff that way.
Yeah.
Facebook Lives.
Yeah. Cool. It's like I'm trying to think of that fear. It did remove some of it. Like it removed the thought, like, I don't know, like the unnecessary parts of the
Yes.
fear,
Yeah.
You know how you make things bigger than they are?
Yeah. It's about the movie you're playing in your head. So your subconscious controls everything in your body that you don't have to think about: breathing, heartbeat, body temperature, how much insulin you crave after a meal, but also that pit in your stomach, the ache in your back, all those, those different things we do to ourselves, through stress and all that, all, the body aches and all that.
Yeah.
What we do by just doing simple visualizations like that, we give it a visual component. And once we do that, we can now play with it.
Yeah.
And that's all I do. That's,
Well, it did change the feeling of it.
Right.
I'm trying to think of it the way I did before we did it, and it doesn't really feel the same. It's almost like the edges disappeared.
Right.
The problem's still there, but like the edges disappeared.
You just took away the anxiety.
Yeah.
And now because of that, a lot of times you'll see the problem differently. You'll be, your brain is more activated. Again, you have, less blood missing from it, like we talked about before. And, you'll get new insights or be able to, come up with, new solutions or whatnot. But,
yeah. It reminds me of I grew up with a lot of Italian guilt, and my mom's like the queen of guilt, every sentence has guilt laid into it.
My mother was raised Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's all the same. But she used to say this, she exaggerates things because of the way she operates. And so she would say when we were little, she's like, don't run in the house because you're going to fall, trip, die, and bleed out. And she would say this whole big, long, ridiculous thing that's never going to happen. And And we would look at her like, really, we're gonna trip, then we're gonna fall, then we're gonna bleed out. Like, and she would do it longer than that. And you just look at her like, okay, mom. But like, it feels like when I did that exercise, it's like, that's what my brain automatically does. It goes, I have this problem, and this problem is going to expand so big. It's going to be this bad and this bad and this bad, and this is going to happen. And oh my God. And then I do this exercise around it, and it's like all those what ifs kind of disappeared, but the problem's still there. But then it's like all those weird wavy edges when, well, you're not going to fall. You're not going to trip. You're not going to fall, and you're not going to bleed out. You're just going to have a problem that you're going to just face, and you're going to deal with it. That's what it feels like now.
Yeah, you changed the meaning. You kind of touched on that before, but like, the best book on this that I know of is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He was a Jewish psychiatrist who was in Auschwitz. And,
hang on, say that again so I can read it down.
Man's Search for Meaning.
Okay.
By Viktor Frankl.
Okay.
But he was a Jewish psychiatrist in Auschwitz, and watched his family die and all that. But because he was a psychiatrist, he noticed an interesting pattern. It's the people who were there who just, kind of gave up, and, the minute they got food, they ate it. They just, which, I couldn't blame them.
No, of course not.
Those were the ones who didn't make it. The ones who could find what he called a compelling future. I'm going to get out of here, so I tell the story so this never happens again. Right? Yeah. Those were the ones that made it.
Yeah.
Same exact situation. They just gave it a different meaning. And at NLP school, they taught us this, like the morning of day one. We all have complete control over two things. One, what we focus on, and two, the meanings that we give to it. You and I could have totally different meanings for the same exact situation. You look at somebody like Oprah Winfrey, what she went through, a horrific childhood, right? Yeah. So many people would have shrunk themselves and just remained quiet the rest of their lives, but look what she did with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. If it weren't for that, she wouldn't have become who she was. And it's all about that meaning that she assigned.
That's what everything is. Like everything in life is that. And there's 100 scenarios you could say for that. Just when I moved into this house, I bought this house sight unseen. Like, I moved across the country.
You are brave.
It was, my dad had a massive heart attack and almost died. And it was like, I just wanted to get here, and I didn't really care. And I was leaving a relationship that wasn't bad, but wasn't really great either. It was just, it was time. And so me and two of my kids, because one went off to college at that point, we just got in the car, put a travel trailer behind the car, put our cats in the car, and we left. And we went to Texas, and it was like all the way across the country, and we kind of bought this house like sight unseen. My sister went and picked out the house and said, I think you'll like it, and showed me pictures. And then we did one walkthrough and then signed all the papers. And so I'm in this house, and I used to always volunteer at the schools, with my kids. I did that their whole lives. And so when we got here, I started doing that at these schools. And when I was there, I met all these moms. I don't know if if you've ever been on, if you've ever hung out with the soccer moms or anything, but they have a very different mentality than I have.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're focused on very different things than I've ever been focused on. And I've known that my whole life, but it was very apparent when I moved into this house, because all these moms, a lot of them were just doing something to have something to do. I was doing it because I just wanted to be with my kids as much as I could, and that alone was different. Our focus was different. But then I met this one mom, and she was like, oh my goodness, you live in that neighborhood? Oh, that's a bad neighborhood. And I was like, oh, really? Because I had no idea. I had only visited Texas. I didn't know anything about dangerous places here or anything like that. And I already signed the papers. I'm stuck here 30 years, I'm stuck. I can't go back. I can't change it. It's over, I guess I could sell the house, but I had just bought it, a month before that. And And she's like, oh, that's a dangerous neighborhood. You live in, what did she say? She said, you live in the ghetto. That's what she called it. She's like, you live in the ghetto. And I went, oh my God, like, because I know what a ghetto is. Like, I'm from the East Coast. There are actual ghettos there. Okay. I know what that is. You can't walk outside your house. There's gunshots, you know? And so I'm like, holy shit, I'm in trouble. Like, we're in trouble. I just brought my kids to this place and now we live in the ghetto. Holy crap. And I started, like, when I was taking my kids to school and bringing them home, I started looking around my neighborhood as I would drive in, and I would go, it's so weird that she's calling this a ghetto, because like people have their like garage doors open all day and kids are driving on their bikes together. And there's like a very clear mixture of like Hispanic and black and white, and everyone gets along and they're fine. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Where's she seeing this? You know, there's no gunshots. There's no drugs that I see. There's no people hanging out on the corners. There's no homeless people. There's nothing that I ever knew a ghetto to be is what I'm experiencing here. I could agree that maybe it's a, you know, poorer neighborhood, you know, like the houses weren't the most expensive houses. They weren't the cheapest houses either, though, you know, and I was just like, I don't know what she thinks a ghetto is. And then I realized it's all your perception. It's all your perspective, what you think it is. Like maybe she lived in a big mansion house or something across town, and this is just a lower priced house, you know, like, I don't know. And they're closer together maybe, but my neighborhood's beautiful. And I've been here for 13 years and I've never actually heard a gunshot on my street. You know, that thing has never happened, but I've never heard it. And I walk down my street and everything's fine. And I know all my neighbors and they're great. And, you know, nothing is ghetto like at all. But if she knew what a real ghetto was, she would know how scary that would have been for me. But that's all perspective. And I realized, like, I could take her perspective and be terrified. And like, even if I didn't see it, I could crawl up in a ball and hide in my house and try to get out of my mortgage and all this crap. But I didn't. I looked around and I used my own eyes and I said, this isn't a ghetto. This isn't even close. This isn't even a bad neighborhood. Like, there are very normal people living here, and I feel safe. Like, my kids feel safe. Everything's fine. And, but that's all perspective, like all of it. And but she was living in her mansion house, scared of everything. And I was just like, that's all perspective. And all you have to do is say, this is what I have, and this is the story I'm making out of it. And you go, what is that story? And why am I doing that? Does that even make sense? And just look different at it, you know? And
exactly.
In a second, you know?
And you've probably made some friends in that neighborhood that you wouldn't have had you been scared. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
But like, if you take like, you know, Jeff Bezos or, you know, Bill Gates or somebody who's mega rich, you know, used to, you know, no less than 6 stories or whatever. I don't know what they live in, but like, show them her house. And they would, oh my God, that's so ghetto. Yeah. It's all, you're right. It's all perspective.
I did realize there's no such thing as a ghetto here, not in Austin that I've seen. And I was an Uber driver, so I've gone to all of the dangerous places. So I do know where the dangerous places are, and not any of them are any.
I come from Detroit. I know what one is. That's. I don't think Austin has any. No,
Austin doesn't have any. I mean, there's places you wouldn't walk down the street alone, maybe at night. But even then, I'm pretty sure you'll be okay. It's really not a dangerous place at all. I've never seen a place that's dangerous here. You know,
a lot of people, they get, you know, caught up in like, you know, keeping up with the Joneses or whatnot. And it's, a lot of that is like fear of being judged. You know what I mean? We're very, we want to maintain our status in our tribe. You know, caveman, cavewoman days, if you got kicked out of your tribe, that meant almost certain death for you and your offspring, right? And so it's very important to us to keep up with the Joneses, basically. And that's kind of what she was doing, it sounds like. You know, I have to live in this neighborhood, I have to drive this kind of car, and, you know, I have the 2.1 kids and all that. Otherwise, I might get kicked out of my social circle.
And I've never understood that, I think, because I grew up with
It's instinct.
So,
It's instinct. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a good book, The Handbook of Evolutionary Psychology, and it talks about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's so wired into us, but again, we're creating our own meanings from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, that same, if that person was born into the mafia, being a kind person could be considered a weakness, and that's something that you want to get rid of. It could get them killed. You know what I mean? So that would,
makes sense.
But it's
Yeah,
just being able to try.
So I feel like almost anything in your life, you could look at it that way, and you could say, like, what is the situation, and what is the story I'm making about that situation? And you could probably change your entire life just in that. Like,
what else could this mean? What other story could I create from this? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And that changes your whole outlook on everything. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, let's get into some numerology.
Cool.
Because I always say we're going to do that, and then I get fascinated with the talk, and I can't. So, and you're easy to do that with. Like, I could spend hours with you, and it's crazy. So guys, you can start putting your numbers in that you want us to look at. You want me to look at, and Matt will pick the numbers. But we're going to do some of yours first, and I haven't really said hi to anybody for a long time. So, so hi Lisa, hi Leanne. Hi, Nicole. I'm glad you're here. Your pretty wife is here. Hi, Erin. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, everybody. Hi, Javelin. Javelin, I'm going to see you. When am I going to see you? Let me look at my calendar. I'm going to see you.
Met Javelin the other day.
You did?
Yeah, we met on Facebook.
I love Javelin. So I'm flying out there in 2 weeks, and I'm going to see her in person finally.
Cool.
I've known her only virtually.
Okay.
I'm so excited. She's going to pick me up
jealous.
at the airport. Yes. We're going to have all the fun. So
very cool.
Let's see. Patrine says Matt helps us be comfortable with more money. So remember we were supposed to do a talk, me and you. Well, it was like a training or something. I don't remember what. Something I had like a tragedy in my life or something. I had a lot of that this past year. So something happened that I had to cancel it, but we should totally actually do that, where we do some kind of live training, let's talk about that after this and really do it. And maybe like around money for people.
Only for people who want more money. Yeah.
Only for people that want more money. So if you don't like money, don't show up. Okay. Hey, there are people that don't. So, yeah.
True.
So, okay. So first I'm going to look at, First, I wanted to say you do have an offer you wanted to talk about. So let's talk about that, because Matt has amazing stuff that he does. So
Thank you. I've been working on this for about a year. Nicole can vouch for that. It's been my obsession. What I'm really looking to do, we went through, the brief 2-minute exercise and took away the anxiety around what it was you're thinking about. I wanted to show people ways to change their lives and to make, huge leaps. That subconscious programming, again, is 95% of all your behaviors by age 30. And when you've taught your subconscious things like, anxiety or, negative emotions, limiting beliefs, things like that, it tends to get stuck in there. And NLP and hypnosis gives us some really powerful tools to go in and change that programming. And I was looking for something that I could help a lot of people with and really help them move the needle and actually create the life they want, health, wealth, relationships, you name it. And I finally cracked the code. It's my new program called Limitless by Design, where we're going to help you break through the subconscious blocks keeping you stuck and claim control of all that subconscious programming that we've been talking about, your beliefs, your identity, and again, almost all your behaviors. We're going to help you rewire what's holding you back and completely change what you think is possible. Each week, we're going to be doing a subconscious transformation that's designed to help you rewrite one of those programs. Every month has a different theme. September happens to be money. So,
Perfect timing, right?
yeah. But January is about making your New Resolution reel. So we'll be doing hypnotic exercises around that. February's relationships. March will be subconscious spring cleaning, that kind of thing. But
that fits right in with numerology too.
Oh, I did not know that.
You're doing it pretty good. Like 9, so September would be the 9. That's all about like your future. So that should be money,
Okay.
And then like you said, I noticed the 2. The 2 is relationships. It's about your heart,
Okay.
So I'm like hearing you going, hey, this is all fitting in with numerology as well.
I never thought about it. I would love to get you to look at it and get your take on.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
That is fascinating.
If you align with the energy of the month, it will help with the programming, because people will already be in that energetic mindset, whether they realize it or not. And then you teach them that programming around what they're going through, and it'll stay inside them better,
Interesting.
So
yeah,
I would love to. Yeah, that's awesome. So is this a membership then?
It is a membership. It's a monthly membership. If you go in, it goes live this next Thursday.
Wow!
Go in now, you can get 30 days free. So you can check it out. I've got some really cool bonuses in there. I've got some inner child reprogramming. We're going to do some money stuff. My money making mojo hypnosis, which is incredible, if I do say so myself. But I've got an inner cleanse, which is like a detox of stress and bad stuff. But first 30 days will be free. That'll be until this coming Thursday, and then it's $27 a month afterwards.
That's
program is designed. It's not just content. It is a complete total system to help you upgrade, every major area of your life.
That's incredible.
I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah. So I will totally post about this after this is over. It'll be on here. And you guys will be able to find him and join this, because $27 a month. I mean, that's very, very generous. I will say.
I'm trying to keep it where everybody can afford it. You know what I mean?
That is very affordable, and that is amazing. I mean, I pay that for Hulu, and I pay more than that for Hulu. So like you pay that for a streaming service that's not helping you. That's awesome. Okay, cool.
And the cool thing is when you get in, even if you're seeing this later, those money exercises will still be there. You'll have access to all the recordings and all that good stuff. So
even if you get it after,
if the 27's a problem, then you can do your free trial period. Just do the money exercises, and then you
and get what you need. No, keep going, guys, because he's got more.
There's so many areas that we're going to hit. It's all about emotional independence. We do a lot of family dynamics and things like that, just trying to upgrade every area of you. Well,
and I will say, just the proximity, like that's another thing. I keep going back to Tony Robbins. I don't know why. I think like you vibrate like him a little bit.
I do.
So like I keep going back to him, and it's like, he talks about proximity and being surrounded with people that are doing the things that you want to do and living the lifestyle you want to live actually does upgrade you to that point. And so like just being in it, to be in your energy field where you are making all this progress and you're going to all these like motivational events and studying and learning and all of these things, that will change people just by proximity. Just by being in a container with you will change. I know that has happened for me,
One of the fastest, surest ways to level up is to get around people who are already doing what you want to do or are where you want to go, because you will level up just to stay in rapport with them. You have to. You have no choice. But that's when you do it fast.
Yes, and put yourself in rooms with people you don't feel like you fit with, because you'll find that you do fit with them later. Like you get there, So anyway, hi, Carrie. I didn't say hi to you, but I did see you earlier. And hi, Lisa. Lisa wants more money. So Lisa, join his stuff. So I'm going to talk about your numbers today.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell everyone what they are, but I'm going to look at them.
Okay.
And I just want to make a little comment first.
Oh,
You said earlier, you were like, oh, you probably don't even know what a record is. You're younger than me. You're younger than me. So, of course, I know what a record is. Anyways,
I just look older.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, okay, so in your chart, like I always look at what stands out when I'm doing it this way. Like this is kind of like my mini version of a reading, because I want to look at whatever the guides are talking about, whatever the numbers are talking about, and whatever kind of like stands out and says talk about me. Like that's kind of what I want to look at. So okay, so what I'm seeing, like the very first thing, so the very first thing that your guides are saying, even beyond what I'm seeing, is they're talking about how you are literally here to change the world. Like you are here to do something to make the world better because you have been here. And you're doing that you're doing that in two different ways. And you're doing that very clearly. So you're doing that in the mental, and you're also doing that in the physical. And in the physical, you're making the world pretty around you, basically. I always say, like you're making things feel better for everyone around you, and you're making it look better and function better and those kinds of things. Like think of the way you would do it physically. Like physically, you would plant flowers. Maybe not you would, but you would plant flowers. You would make it prettier. So you would always be working on kind of like the stability around you and making other people feel safe and things like that. And then also making their world just feel comfortable, and then in the mental, you actually are trying to change the world, like you actually are like, you're taking all of the things that were hard for you and you're saying like, I solved this for me and I can show you how to solve it too. And let me just break this down so that it's easier for you than it was for me. That's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you do live with a lot of self-doubt, okay? Which is probably how you got into this to begin with, is that kind of like you went through, I'm not good enough for, there's something wrong with me. It's really the something wrong with me thing. And you kind of went through that and you said, you know what, if I go through this, I bet you a lot of people go through this. And I know that I've learned how to overcome this in some way or many ways. And I'm going to learn as much as I can to get them to where I've gotten, and that's kind of like, you're not trying to, I think you're not trying to like make, put your name on everything that you touch, like, I don't think that's your angle. I think it's more like, I want to come into your life and I want to twist it a little bit and make it better. And then I want to go into the next person's life and twist that a little bit. And like, I'm kind of just moving. I'm not really like stopping and waiting it out and waiting for the results and all of that. I'm just here to touch you and move and touch you and move. And then you are the spirit guide on earth. So it's like you are a direct, you are directly, a channel with your spirit guides. So like you are channeling right from the other side, and so through you is coming the things that need to come when they need to come, and you came here with that mission to kind of be this direct channel for people, so like you've probably had times in your life where you've helped people and you don't really know how you've helped people. And it's just kind of like, you're like, I know that I am this person. I know that I have this job. I know that I want to have this job, but I don't quite know how I do this job. I just know that I do and I want to, and that's enough for you to open your channel for your guides to work straight through you. And that's what you're doing. And the more that you release you and your ego, you like kind of step back and allow them to do that through you, the better you get at your work, the more people you help, and that's, I have the same pattern actually. And it has been so hard for me to back up out of the situation and allow them to come through, because my ego gets in my way. I always think it's about me, and my guides are always like, it's not about you. Like, you didn't come here like, yes, it's about you. Like, yes. Okay. But like, you're not here to do this for you. You're here to do this for other people. And like, you need to step out of the equation for that to happen, you know, and that has been something that's really been challenging, you know, in my life. So
same. Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were talking about me actually there, but yeah.
No, it is you. It's the same thing. Like, it's the same challenge. It's like your ego kind of goes, well, why am I doing this though? And what should I be doing this for? And what am I getting out of this? And like, am I getting out what I'm putting in? And is this worth it? And all the things. And your guides go, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not about you.
Yeah.
You'll get all the things that you need. Just step the hell back and stop it, you know? And that's kind of like their thing, like, because you cloud the channel when you do that, you know?
Yeah.
And I've definitely had times myself where, you know, I kind of question what they're bringing through, and I go, is that even right? And they're like, don't question it, just trust it. We're here, we're doing good, and we're doing good through you, and we're in a partnership, you know? And so that's what your guides are talking about, and they're actually asking you to commit more to that partnership, you know, and to realize that, like, you know, you're very much in your intellect. Like, you have a head and heart battle that's very strong. You know, both of them are, you know, battling all the time. And your head is always going like, this makes sense. This is what I want to do. This is what I should do. This is the thing. And your heart is going, but this feels right, you know, and you're going, I don't know, because you're an analytical thinker. And so your brain's always like, but why does let me understand this so that I can make it make sense for other people. And that's the good part of it. Okay. But then your heart's going, I already get this. Like, I get it. I know how to do it. And then the guides are like, just let it flow, you know, like, so it's kind of a 3-part conversation inside of you. It's like your heart is like, I understand the plan and I will get you in vibrational balance with that. And your head is like, but wait, this doesn't make sense. I can't do it this way. And then your guides are like, just let us talk. We'll make it happen. Like, it's fine. You know? So like, I always make up scenarios about like what happens, but like, but that's what happens inside.
Can I tell you a weird story?
Yes, absolutely.
This program that I just told you about, I have been wrestling with this thing for a little over a year now. And it basically, it boiled down to what do I want to contribute? What do I want to be when I grow up? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, how can I help people? And after like version 6, you know, just wasn't, you know, I knew that wasn't it. Yeah. And I finally just like, all right, I talked out loud. I'm like, all right, guys, I know you want me to do this work. I need some direction here. Help me out. Yeah. That same day, I kept flashing on this book, one of the top 10 books I've ever read, which if you see my library, I have hundreds of books, but No Limits by John Maxwell. And I love that book. Oh, it's phenomenal. But it is talking about all the areas of your life and just, you know, removing those limits that we put on ourselves. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. Yeah. That's what if I can do that through, you know, hypnosis and NLP and all that, I can, you know, totally change people's lives through that. And it just flew out of me. And, within a day I had the program written. You know what I mean?
And that's what the guide said. And you also have this ability, okay, that maybe someone has told you about before, maybe they haven't, but my mom told me this my whole life. She would say, you have this ability, because I have the same number as you, okay, with this. You have this ability to go to sleep with a question and wake up with an answer, okay? And she would always say this, and I would go, I don't even know what that means, you know? And I literally did that with a course one time where I was taking all these mini challenges and courses and whatever these things. I just kept signing up for everything to teach me how to make a course, because I didn't know how to do that.
We're nerds at heart. Yeah.
Yes. And I just kept doing that, but I was getting more confused with the different teachers that were teaching different ways. And I kept going, I don't know how to do this, but I know how to do this, you know? And then I swear to you, I literally just let go of it. And then at night before I went to sleep, I said, I really want to learn how to make a course. Can you just help me, send me to the right place or give me the right teacher or whatever, just make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense. And the next day I had to go to the DMV with my ex, and I was sitting there. I think we were sitting there for 3 hours, and he had forgotten his ID or something and had to run home. So I just like sat there keeping his place. And while he was gone, I had a notebook, because I always have a notebook with me. And I wrote out like a whole course, like as if I just knew how to do it. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck? Anyway, you can do that. Like, that is what you have the ability to do. And I don't want you to forget that. And when I say I mean they, like your guys are talking about this. Like, so like what their message is, it's a very strong message, because I tried to talk about something else and they wouldn't let me. The message is, we are right here. We are working with you, and we are trying to get you to just allow us to, and when you are working in that flow energy, you're going to just be carried by that river of flow, and the more that you kind of like resist that or try to make sense of it or any of those things, the less it's going to work. So like, just allow yourself to be carried with that inspiration energy, and they're going to make it all come into place. And I can also tell you, when I created Wizard School, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, I was like, I don't even want to teach this. I don't think I'm qualified to teach this. I know that I'm a good numerologist, but I don't know that I could teach anyone else to be, Yeah. And they were so adamant that if I just do it, they will help me. And they got so loud that I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I swear to you, I am not exaggerating, they taught the whole course through me. Like, It just flowed right out of me, like as if I just knew everything to do, and I didn't. And I was so scared when I was making that course, because I didn't, like, people paid me all this money and trusted me, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but they told me to trust, and I did, and it just came out, and and it came out better than I could have ever tried to plan it, so that's how your stuff will be too, and that's what they want you to know. Like, if you trust them, they will work through you to create the best thing that you could possibly create, Okay. So anyway, I know that was longer than I normally do.
Oh no, I love it. Yeah.
They were definitely very loud.
I needed to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you. I take on so much responsibility for, all right, people give me the money. I got to give them 10 times at least, what they pay.
You have a high integrity, and that is, that is what's lacking in our industry, quite honestly. There is a very serious integrity problem with a lot of coaching and a lot of course creators and things. Like, a lot of people get kind of like, their eyes get bright. They go, oh my goodness, I can make all this money and just do the work once and then, never touch it again. And that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing in this industry. Okay. But you don't really not touch it again. Like, you really create it once, and then you enhance it and build it and grow it. And there's nothing more that I want to do than to show up for my lives every other week with my class, and my graduate students, because it's like I grow by still teaching them, by still furthering the message, and just like building it is teaching me more, and it's like, it's a perfect circle of energy then, Yeah. There's a lot of course creators that create something, and then they go, oh, here, buy this course that I created 5 years ago. I'm never going to talk to you. You're never going to meet me. You're not going to even know who I am, even, kind of. My name's just attached to it, but pay me all this money and I'm going to go on vacation, Yeah. And that's like the weird idea of this industry, but that's not what this industry is about. Like, that doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You hit the nail right on the head. They teach me as much as I teach them sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I remember we were going through the Unspinning Fear. I'm like, find the direction that works best for you. The way they teach it in NLP is just spin it the opposite way. And I found out that's not the best thing to do for all people. Because
yeah, mine didn't even do that. Like I tried. I had a lot of resistance because it is a big fear I have, that I was thinking about. So yeah. Anyway, let's do at least 2 people since we're really running on time now.
Okay.
Like running over time. Let's just choose anybody that has put numbers in. I don't even know if a lot of people have, but oh, and Kimberly said, can you do numerology on your address or zip code? And absolutely yes. And you can, when you do like, I mean, I haven't really done a lot of zip codes, but I've done a lot of addresses. Your address will talk about the time period you're in when you live at that place. It'll talk about the theme of that experience. And so if I've done it on business addresses, when people are like, buying a build, like renting space or something, I've done it on those, like to see what the theme will be for their business if they go to that address, and then I've also done it on like childhood homes. And when you talk about the theme of that, like,
don't look at mine.
I know. I looked at
yourself. Yeah.
I looked at mine and I was like, oh God, because it made sense.
A lot.
It was like, so I teach this thing called number stories. Okay. In wizard school toward the end, I teach number stories, and number stories is just basically, you can take a birthday or a death day. You can take an address. You can take any series of numbers for any reason. Okay. And you can just say, okay, there's a 1, like, sorry, I'll just look at anything on my page here that I've done like in the last few weeks. So like you have a 1, a 2, a 6, an 8, so you say the 1 provides the direction. The 2 provides the heart or the emotion. The 6 is talking about creation energy. It's talking about, creativity and music and art and things like that. The 8 is talking about trauma. And then there's a family focus at the end. Okay, so this is someone's birthday. And so when you put that all into a story, you say, it kind of leads into the next thing. And it goes, okay, the theme of my life then, because it's a birthday, would be this. I'm going to go in the direction toward having emotion in this lifetime. I'm going to apply that emotion to my creativity and my art and my music and whatever it is that brings me joy inside. I'm going to have some trauma along the way, but family's going to kind of solve that for me, and it kind of makes this whole story of your life that's just one concise story instead of diving into the whole thing. And then if you do a death day, you do the same thing, but now it's like, what did this life equal? And it'll tell a story. You can do an anniversary or anything. You can do and then when you do an address, it's like, this is going to be the theme of our time here, So yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
knew that.
It keeps getting deeper for me in this, but I'm finally realizing how you can tell the future with numerology. That's what I was telling you before we got on here. Like, it's incredible. Like, it just keeps growing for me. So
it's so fascinating. Yeah. I told you a long time ago, I used to be a skeptic, and I'm very even dealing with my brain injury. I wasn't into energy medicine and all that. I was going to Groupon. And because this was after I realized that, medical science couldn't heal me, I was going to Groupon. I'm like, all right, if it's a scam, at least it won't be out much money. You know what I mean? But, that's how I found it worked. If you show me that there's something to it, then I'll believe it.
The thing is, I am the biggest skeptic you will ever find. Okay. I don't go to a lot of readers. I don't like people in my energy field very much, and things like that. And I tell people why. Like, I understand how much control you have, how much you actually know when you enter someone's energy field. And if someone has bad intentions, it's like, you better have very strong shielding around you, for that. But when you enter someone's energy field, it's pretty serious, quite honestly. But I am a big skeptic. Okay. I require a lot of proof. I do not just adapt to things. I do not just go, okay, that must be true because someone said it and someone else agreed with it. Like, I don't do life like that. So I'm always like with crystals. Yeah. I thought people that were into crystals were all woo-woo in the clouds, and there was something wrong with them. Like, I've definitely met people, there is something wrong with them. So like, because they get into it in a very not normal way. So I thought, I kind of made an image of what I thought that was. And I thought, these are rocks. There's nothing to this. That doesn't make sense. But then I met this girl that said, she was like, hey, you need this certain crystal. And I was like, no, I'm not really into that. But I did wear crystal bracelets for years. I just didn't know that they were helping me. And I was just attracted to them. And anyway, she helped me get this crystal. It was labradorite that she said I needed. And I got it, and it was beautiful. And I thought I loved looking at it, you know, but she said, it's not about looking at it and holding it and having it on a shelf or whatever. She said, I want you to hold it, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to ask the crystal to help you in your life. And I said, why? Like, it's a rock, you know, like, how's a rock going to help me in my life? And she said, crystals are alive, and they have intentions that you can work with them. Like, they will work with you, and labradorite brings your magic to the surface so that other people can see it. You know, it's all the magic underneath that's hiding that it brings to the surface. And if you ever look at a piece of labradorite, it has a lot of like glitter in it, and it's like it's magical. It's very magical. Like, it has that color that you only see if you turn it a certain way, and then it has that glitter that kind of like shows you right away that there's magic inside of it, you know. And it like brings your color to the surface, just like it brings its own to the surface. It does exactly what it looks like it does, you know. And so when I sat with that crystal and I asked it to help me, it was like my life started making sense. Like, it was like, after owning that, I went, oh shit, that was real. Like something happened when I held that crystal and asked it to work with me, that crystal responded. And I could tell in my life, because people started noticing my magic. Like, it was crazy. And I didn't even know what the crystal meant. She didn't tell me what it meant. I had to learn that later. But it was like, she said, this is what you need, you know, and I did need it. And now I'm obsessed with crystals, and I know that they hold consciousness. I know that everything holds consciousness almost. But crystals absolutely are beings of their own, you know. I
can feel the energy from them. I like, when I got my brain injury, I was so sensitive to light and sound. I couldn't be in a room with the lights on, but like looking at a computer was just like torture. But I got, you know, Nicole's all into the crystals and stuff.
I love that about her.
All right, what do I need? Just give it to me. So like, I put them in front of my monitor, and they weren't even in front. They were like on the desk below the monitor. It felt better. I was able to work for a lot longer. With them there. You can definitely feel the energy there.
Yeah, they really do want to help you. They really do want to, you know, encourage your life to be better. The thing is, I thought people were so weird that did that. And now I'm one of those weird people. But the thing is that, like, it's real. It's not made up. It's not pretend. And once you know that for sure, you can't unknow that. And that's kind of how all of spirituality is. It's like this deepness that you step into, and then you go, oh my goodness, my life looks different. My life feels different. Things are working. And I don't know if it's from that, but I don't know what else it could be. So like, it must be that, you know? And that's how I became a really big believer in crystals.
If it works, then work it. Exactly. Yeah. Who cares how, you know?
So Patrine said, I found the 1 month trial and started it and logged in, got the email and can log in now. That's awesome.
Awesome.
The links aren't showing any content. Well, he said it didn't start yet. So
we're actually starting next Thursday. I'll extend you guys a trial and all that. But I'll double check that. But you should be able to click on the links.
Well, it says she logged in and everything. So Patrine, why don't you just go get in Matt's inbox? He'll figure you out. But if it doesn't start yet, that's probably why she's not seeing much yet. So I would
It's
say.
I've got the bonuses loaded up there, and we start the first hypnosis live next Thursday at noon.
Okay. Good. Awesome. Well, I love that people are jumping in already. That's awesome.
Yeah. Same.
That is so cool.
I went
So
blurry.
let's look at someone's numbers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I went blurry.
My camera does that too. I think if I just like go like this or something, it starts like shit. It starts focusing again. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah. Mine does that too. I don't know why it does that. It's because it has the autofocus and it sometimes loses its focus. I don't know, but you're still here. Don't worry. You're good. Whether we can see you all the way or not, you're still here. And Suzanne, you're right. Numerology is incredible. It amazes me every day too. And I've been doing it for over 20 years. So like it amazes the heck out of me. Anyway, okay, so let's do pick someone's numbers.
Okay. How about we start with Erin? Her son Ollie's about to turn 15, just entered high school. I'd love to get a reading for him. Birthday's 10/4/2010.
Okay. This is an interesting one because there's not very many numbers. And so like people always ask me, like, if there's not very many numbers, does that mean that it'll be less of a reading? Like there'll be less to say. And it's
Are there certain numbers that you need?
It's just their birthday, like, and the thing is, it's funny because sometimes the ones with less numbers speak more.
Okay. Birthday 10/4/2010.
Yep.
Okay.
So I put them in a chart, and what is standing out to me? Let me see. Okay, so what is standing out to me is actually something we've been talking about today. So like, so he is someone who has doubt around spirituality. He is someone who questions everything and does not adapt easily to new ideas. So like he does have like a bit of stubbornness, and he has this like unwillingness to bend and shape shift to other people, but he is like I would say, like, he's very set in what he's going to do, but really even more than that, he's very determined toward it, so the direction that he's in is very solid and moving in, a straight path. But then like when it comes to his spirituality, it's like he keeps that very sacred inside of him. And so his whole thing is that like, I'm going to believe what I believe, and no one's going to mess with that. I'm not going to trust anybody else to say what they believe. But also I have very strong beliefs. And if you did get close enough to me, I would tell you them, so he's got very strong connection to the other side and to source energy. He just doesn't talk about it. But this is like a very big guiding force for him. And he needs that because he's a traveler, and he's very into nature, and he's got a lot of travel in his future, so like to me it looks like he's going to be a world traveler, and he's probably going to do work around that. That's what I would think. I don't know what he's going to school for, but I hope travel's involved, because when you have it this strongly in your chart and then you can't do it, it causes like a dissatisfaction with life. So like I would definitely want him to go into something that's going to lead to travel, because he definitely is a traveler for sure. And he's going to be like the off the beaten path kind of traveler. Like he's going to want to, really be part of the culture wherever he's at too. So I hope that makes sense. And was there an actual question though? Like I think you said.
Struggling with anxiety.
Oh, he's struggling with anxiety. Okay, so yeah, I do see anxiety in here. I think he only has anxiety because he's not sure what he wants to do yet. Like he's not sure of who he is and where he wants to be. And as soon as he gets clear on that, he's going to he's not really going to have that. He'll still have anxiety around what what other people want him to be or do. Like he has a lot of social anxiety, like not necessarily what we call social anxiety, but he has a lot of like conditioning issues. Like he sounds very upset about the way people want him to be and the things people want him to do. He's like bucking the system of that. Like he's like, no, I'm not doing it the way everyone else wants me to do it. I'm doing it the way I came here to do it. And if you don't like that, get out of my way. Like he's very, very adamant about that. Yeah, he's a very strong force himself, and he's very clear about his path. So even though he doesn't really know what his path is yet, and he's got anxiety about that, he is very clear once he gets on it, and he does it. But first he has to move the people that are saying he can't and he shouldn't, and that's really what he's struggling with. Like people are saying he can't and he shouldn't. And whatever that is, that's what I'm hearing. And once they get out of his way, he actually comes into what he's going to do. So, and the anxiety will naturally disappear once he starts traveling and seeing the world and doing the things that his heart is calling him to do, so that just makes sense. Anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that even answers what you want. So, okay. And then let's do one more, because we are way over the time we
Okay. Gotcha. I just want to say, Aaron, if he's really struggling with it, reach out to me. I have some stuff that I can send to him that'll help, no charge. But
awesome.
Let's do, because I am fascinated by this. Let's do Leanne. My address is 14952.
Okay. All right. So I'll write that different. So 149. What did you say?
52.
52. Okay. And this is an address. Okay. So we're going to do a number story. So this would be. So it would say, I'm heading in the direction of opportunities. I'm thinking about my future for my family. And there's like a relationship. So like, it's like, okay, so being here at this address, okay, this is what I would say. I would say being here at this address while I'm here, what's going to be created here is the direction toward travel, adventure, opportunity. It's going to have something to do with future planning for the family. There's going to be family. I want to say there's going to be family creation in this space. I don't know if it's creation, but it's like there's going to be family structure in this space, and there's going to be a lot of relationship growth. So it's like it's going to have a lot to do with the growth of the family and the relationships within the family. And it's all going to be because the focus is the forward motion of the family, if that makes sense. It's kind of like we're growing together in this space. So like I would say, I don't know anything about you, Leanne, but or at least I don't think I do. I would say you're going to raise a family in this space. Like there's going to be like children that are growing up in this space. Because it's going to be about their future, and the future that you want for the family. That's what it seems like. And then it's going to be the opportunities that come from the stability of those relationships, so like it's kind of like I could see a whole family growing up in this space and then going off their separate ways, but the structure that happens there makes it into something, makes it into what they need to be. It's a very positive number, and it's a very growth oriented number, and it's a very it's emotional. It's got a lot of emotion in it. But yeah, this would be a really positive place to live. I would think it would be a good experience. It would not be, this would not be a trauma-filled home. This wouldn't be a whole bunch of people being abused and treating each other terribly. It wouldn't be that. It would be a lot of growth, so I hope that makes sense. Hopefully you definitely come and tell us if that makes sense. Let's see. So Patrine says, apparently I'm a platform tester for everyone else. It is free month, even though it currently says.
Yeah. That's it changes. You guys are getting the sneak peek. It's I don't go live until next Thursday. It's going to change to $7 for the trial period.
Oh, for the trial.
On Thursday, you guys are getting it for free for 30 days, awesome. And I'll extend that. I make sure you get your 30 days free.
That's awesome. So Patrine is like a breaker of the system. She's in school and like, oh my goodness, like when she's around, there's like tech shutdowns and things.
Okay. I did test the links. They were working, but that doesn't mean they're working at this moment. So
I mean, that's the whole thing is like, man, making all of your stuff talk to each other. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
That is my hardest thing in my business.
I'm hosting it in Kajabi because I love what the platform can do, but it is really complicated. Yeah.
I've never used Kajabi, but I have used, I use a system and I really like it. So okay, I'll let me post this. If I can. Okay. So I'm gonna post the link for, I don't know when you put this here, but I saw it now, so that's when I'm posting it. So this is the link for Matt's program that he's talking about, the membership, and I also always come back here later and I post a whole bunch about you and like, you know, all the things. So they will absolutely find you. And I do think we should end it here because we've gone on way too long. So.
You tell me. I'm having fun, but
I think, well, I mean, we could do one more if you want to do one more. I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
So
let's see. Who's got a cool one? Let's see. Shireen Burrell, 11/26/82.
11/26/82. Okay. Let me just read what. So Aaron says, sorry, I'm cooking dinner, couldn't type. That all fit my son to a T and was very helpful. He was just trying to explain last night about how he has social anxiety, but he loves people and being around people. Yeah, when I felt the social anxiety, it wasn't typical social anxiety. It was a different kind. It was like a pressure type instead of like a, I don't want to go out of the house type, you know. He just feels pulled in too many directions. He absolutely has that in his chart. Oh my goodness, he has that very strongly in his chart. He is a really incredible kid. He heard your offer, Matt, and is very interested to hear what you can offer. That's amazing. He hasn't been able to go to school most of the week due to crippling, unexplainable anxiety. Okay. Thank you so much for being willing to support him. That is so kind of you. Yeah,
you reach out to me, Aaron, and I'll hook you up.
Yeah,
we'll get that knocked out.
So he does have this like, I'm being pulled in 4 directions or I don't know what to do with that energy. Like he's kind of like, this person wants this and this person wants that. And there's only so much of me. And
I know that feeling. I still struggle with that. Yeah.
He has a pattern of that for his lifetime. So it's like he's working on learning that. So that's, hard. Anyway, I'm going to write out Shireen's and then we'll get moving on that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is someone who is what's funny? So I went to say something about it and then the number literally showed me something. So I'm seeing a person who is standing with their head up, like they're standing very tall and they're putting their head up almost like unnaturally. And they're going, this won't break me. Like that's what they're saying. And it's like they're standing so tall because they've had so much hard stuff. Like they've had such a hard time at life that they're like, I will not be broken. I will rise above this. And then not only is it showing me that, but then it's like all of the emotions are actually standing tall as well. They're not standing tall like this number is, but they're floating. And so they're like, I'm not on the ground of this problem. I'm in the air of this problem. And what that means to me is like, I'm rising above all of the bullshit. Like, I am not allowing this to keep me down. I'm not allowing life to break me. And then even I look at the creativity in the chart, and it's also doing that. It's like it's standing very tall in the chart, and it's going, I'm going to use my creativity, and I'm going to, okay, so this is what, okay, so now the guides are talking too. So this person is lacking joy. Okay, like that's what's happening. So they're lacking joy. Joy is a gift that you give yourself. This is the only kind of gift that you actually give yourself. There is no such thing as an external anything that could fix an internal problem. That is not a thing. So like we constantly look for external validation, external solutions, external everything to fix internal problems. And this person is saying, I have an internal problem. I've been broken. I've had self-worth issues. I have some imposter syndrome going on. I've not been okay. I felt like a punching bag. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my hands and I'm going to create something, whatever that is. That's going to be art or music or cooking or cleaning even, or building. You could build a house, like you could fix a car, anything that you do with your hands. This person says, I am going to do what I do with my hands that brings me internal joy, and that's going to fix this. And that's what it is. It's like, I'm going to heal because I'm not letting any of this bullshit break me, because it's all an illusion, and I am aware of that, and I'm not letting that happen. And so this person in this chart is literally a fighter, and they are winning, and they are determined to win, and they don't feel like they're winning themselves inside, but they are determined to win. And so they are going to solve the problems and stand very tall and not let anything break them. And they're going to return back to joy, and they're going to give themselves that gift of feeling filled up by something that brings them to that place, you know. And then I want to say, please also go into nature, because nature is going to help with this mission, you know. So that's a very strong message that your numbers and your guides are talking about. So I hope that really resonates. And definitely whatever it is that you do with your hands, start doing a lot more of that. And also go into nature if you don't know what I'm talking about, because nature will remind you of that. Nature has this way for you to, this isn't for everybody, but for you, nature has this way of reminding you of who you are and what brings you joy and what makes you fulfilled. And nature is going to actually unlock this for you so that you can give this gift to yourself, so that you can be this person who rises from all the ashes and rebuilds, you know, and not even rebuilds, just does not let the thing break you that is trying to, you know, or that was trying to. You've decided not to walk with the pain, you know. So that's what I see. So hopefully that makes sense.
She said in the comments that this resonates. I just ended a 7-year relationship.
Oh God, that is so accurate to what I'm seeing. That's awesome. That's so yeah, you're gonna be just fine. You're just gonna be so good. You really are. And Suzanne says, I have the same number in my chart he has, and meditation and nature has helped with that. Anxiety of pulling me in so many directions. Also decompressing from all the people energy. She's talking about the sun. She's talking about Aaron's son. Just sitting quietly after I leave those situations helps too. Yeah, I agree. Suzanne, you have the same energy as him, you know, but you've learned how to master it, and he's still a child. So that's the only difference, you know. And Shireen says, nature brings me peace. Yeah, nature is going to bring you back. Like, that's really what's going to bring you back to who you are and why you're here and what the hell it's all for. But just know that I saw you standing so proud, like, so you had your head up like this, like higher than it should be, you know, because you're like, I won't let this defeat me. This will not, you know, and I will be so great, you know. And it's like you're starting a whole new phase, you know, and it's good. So anyway, and that's a good way to end this. So so I love you guys. I love you, Matt.
I love you too, Tammy. Yeah.
You amaze me and fascinate
Likewise.
me, and I am so glad that we do things like this. Like, it's so great. All right. So see you guys later. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Bye.